Welcome to the Conquer Duality podcast with Alexia Anahita. In this first episode, I delve into the topic of love and fear. I pre-recorded this podcast on August 17th, 2022, and I'm uploading it today to share my wisdom and knowledge with my followers, hence the shift in audio and environmental setting. Most of my pre-recorded podcasts are outside. If you're interested in self-help topics, spirituality, esotericism, and occult sciences, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Share it with friends and on your socials. I would greatly appreciate the support. You can follow me on Twitter at Alexia Anahita for future posts and updates. Enjoy this episode, fam. Much love, Lexi. I accept my imperfections. I love myself in spite of the flaws that I see in the mirror. I think when we use apps like Snapchat or when the filters on Instagram, it really gives us this distorted view of ourselves. It further amplifies body dysmorphia. We develop a dysmorphic perception of ourselves. It's taken me 35 years to get to a point in my life where I'm able to really step outside of myself, self-reflect, and really get to the root of why I have certain fears, why I feel the way I do in certain environments, around certain people, what my triggers are. And the thing is, when you get triggered by something, it's ultimately because it's your fear that's getting triggered. It thrusts you into a state of fear, either by something that somebody said or something that they've done, something you've seen. But you have to ask yourself, why do you have these fears? Where did it stem from? When did it begin? How come you haven't reconciled it? Because the fear is essentially vibrating from your lower self, your ego. I'm at a point now in my journey where it's like, no matter how people may judge me based on my appearance, I've managed to fight for enough self-love within myself that I know that I'm stable. I love myself regardless, whether people want to poke fun at my vision issues or the shape of my face or the shape of my body, my skin color, my ethnicity. The way I speak, I think it's crucial to I'm sorry, I get emotional talking about this because it's like when you really surrender to how divine you are, your divine nature, when you really, really recognize that, then you truly, truly feel authentic self-love, and you truly feel supported by God, and you truly feel supported by your angels, because you realize the magnificence and greatness of who you are, who you really are. My persona helped me only so far in my life, but I was always miserable deep down. I was always miserable. It's hard to trust others when you lack trust in yourself. I think everyone needs to get to a point in their life where they just surrender to the human experience on this earth, and they surrender to loving themselves, trusting themselves, that no matter what situation or challenge the universe throws at them, they're solid, they can handle it. I have this fear of being left out. I have this fear of believing that my friends really aren't my friends, and that the people who claim to love me don't have my best interest at heart. They're just out to get me, use me, discard me, abandon me, because of the traumas that I experienced in my life. But I think it's fair to say that, what if this is just fearful programming, a chronic belief that we subscribed to for such a long time, and so we projected that reality all out of our own mind. We projected all of it, the horrible nightmare scenarios, because we believed that that was our reality, that we live in this, what's the word? We live in a world where it's cold, cruel. Everyone's out to do each other over. There's no genuine love, no genuine trust, no genuine... You know what I mean? And so, because we chronically think these awful, horrible, hellish thoughts, we create a state of purgatory on this realm. In this realm, we co-create with the Creator. We have free will. Sorry, I'm just drinking my coffee outside. It really ultimately comes down to weird shit has been happening to me. Like, weird shit happening on my phone, getting triggered by certain things in our group chat. And it's like, there's a part of me that thinks there's this big conspiracy going on. There are things that are being hidden from me, occulted from me. And my higher self tells me, it's for your own good, it's for your ultimate good. Just trust, surrender and trust. And then my lower self says, no, nobody loves you. This is just a game to use you because there's money invested. And it's ultimately about greed, and it's ultimately about what others can suck from you, whether it's intellectual property, whether it's material abundance, whether it's your energy, your time, your care, your ideas. All of it's being stolen and stripped away from you. And you are just the laughing stock. Joke's on you. Ha ha ha. This is what my lower self, the ego, constantly tells me. And my higher self is in battle with that part of me, because my higher self wishes to believe that we do live in a benevolent universe, with the strongest force being love, not fear. I had a very interesting channeling session last night. lasted about a couple hours, I'd say. It was enlightening. I feel like I got a good understanding of the light and the dark role. I guess I'm trying to figure out my place in this world, my purpose. There's a part of me that's like, well, why am I chosen to do this? Why do I have to be the mascot for truth, authenticity, love, integrity? That shit was like so hard to, I don't know how to articulate this. It's like you live your life in illusions for so long, and then when you finally cast those illusions away, it's disorienting to a degree, because your reality is so contradictory to what you've known for a huge portion of your life that you question your sanity. You really question your sanity. Every time I look at Keela, I am in admiration of her beauty and her strength. I truly see her as an extension of myself. That's really the key when it comes to loving others. You have to see them as an extension of yourself. And when you surrender to this truth and how we are all so interconnected, there's no more room for psychological torment by the fearful frequencies of your shadow, because you've surrendered to love and you see your fellow brother, your fellow sister, humanity through the eyes of love. You don't look at them and feel like, oh well, I don't have this and I don't have that, therefore I refuse to love that person because they trigger my shadow side. People who are in this state aren't even aware that their shadow is being triggered. They just feel threatened, and so they automatically develop a disdain, a resentment. Which turns to hatred, an illusion of competition that they create in their mind because they have a resistance to loving themselves ultimately. Therefore, they see the world as a chessboard. They see the world as a chessboard. I guess this explains world politics too. People who are so hungry for power, their worldview is that they're caught up in the illusion of the world is a horrible and scary place, and so we have to do everything in our power to control every situation because that's the only way that we can feel secure. Love requires faith. Living your life through the laws of the divine requires faith, surrender, acceptance, love, and it all starts with loving yourself first. That's why I don't feel threatened by any woman. I wish to uplift every woman that I encounter in my life, to help them feel good about themselves, to remind them that they are special in their own way, that even though we're all connected to the all infinite creator, each soul print is unique and special and beautiful. And when you get caught in the trappings of the ego, you become so consumed by fear that you forget who you really are, and you can't see how divine and magnificent and glorious and beautiful. Your soul print is your universal code, if we want to put it in matrix terms. Isn't that the biggest injustice you can do to yourself? Getting so caught in your illusions of fear that you forget who you really are, how powerful and magnificent your soul is, and that it's completely unique. Completely unique. There's no need for you to imitate anyone. You just be true to you. We can be inspired by others, but we shouldn't be resentful and upset and angry when they thrive at any sort of endeavor, when they succeed at something that they've worked hard for. We shouldn't compare ourselves and be like, oh, well, I don't have this skill, therefore I suck. People who internalize their inner critic end up just being really miserable inside and lacking self-love. But likewise, it's the same for individuals who project their inner critic onto others, because it's too painful to internalize it. So of course they have to project it and demonize another soul and put them down so that they can feel better about themselves. Either way, it's still all illusions. I can't tell you how much spiritual harassment I deal with on the daily because of who I am, what I stand for, how I want to live my life, the way that my own inner demons prey on my fears, and the way that I reconcile it all is that, you really just have to arrive at a state of acceptance and surrender and trusting that good will prevail, the truth will prevail. Love is more powerful than fear. Love does win. It's so crucial to do the spiritual work every day. For a huge chunk of my life, I wasn't even able to talk about my insecurities because I felt like no one would have compassion for me. No one would understand. If anything, I would just be judged and mocked. And that false belief kept me in this illusory ego trap. And it slowly sucked the joy and happiness from my soul and pushed me further and further into my own realm of illusions where my fears dominated. Even now, when it comes to you guys, the people that I love so much, I really, really love you guys. And I see you as part of my soul tribe. I really do. When the demons get in my head, they tell me that love is just one-sided. I guess that's one of my biggest fears, is waking up in a reality where I realize that all the love that I've given out to others is just one-sided. I don't believe that that's true. It's just fear. Wow, this is 20 minutes. Oh, holy crap. I really should start my own Twitter space. It's so insidious how this fear plants in your mind. And the more attention and energy you give it, it's like before you know it, it's manifested into this big ass fucking demon, dragon, monster thing. You know what I mean? The only way that I soothe myself in these scenarios is reminding myself that I'm love, that I'm truth, that my intentions are pure, and that even if this hellish reality exists, even if I am being betrayed and duped, deceived, well, I'm not mirroring that behavior. Those aren't my intentions to harm, hurt, use, exploit anyone. And when I surrender to that established fact, I have peace, because at the end of the day, there's no way that I could put my head on my pillow knowing that I hurt somebody else. I love people because I see divinity through everyone. So when we hurt another soul, we ultimately hurt ourselves. We do. I love you guys. I'm sorry this turned out to be crazy long. I just had a lot of things that I wanted to get off my chest. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for your support. And if you guys are occulting things from me, I'd like to believe that it's for my highest good. Everything has its purpose. But it ultimately comes down to, do you choose love or do you choose fear? I choose love. Thank you guys for listening to the first episode of the Conquer Duality podcast. One thing that I forgot to mention during my little discussion about love and fear was the importance of placing boundaries, standing up for truth and justice, and sticking up for yourself when you encounter individuals who are projecting their ego, their fears, insecurities onto you, making up lies, accusations, and slandering you. It's important to speak up, even though it may hurt another soul. By you speaking your truth and being direct, it's important to do so because it's ultimately an act of self-love and a teaching moment for those who are out of alignment with themselves and need to learn a crucial karmic lesson. We can't just lay down and allow others to wrongfully attack us and smear our reputation. So, yeah, that's important. Anyways, Thanks, guys, for listening to this first episode. I will be uploading some more pre recorded podcasts. The one that I did on the Matrix Fear Machine is pretty interesting, so please subscribe and stay tuned for more content. Love you, fam.